If you have a budget of around $1,000 and you want a new gaming PC build, this video is going to be for you. I will show you the best $1,000 gaming PC build to play at 1440p resolution on a 240Hz monitor. So this system will allow you to play at 240 plus FPS on average on esports titles. Not only that, but it's going to be great as well for any game at 1440p, even the most high demanding titles on high to ultra settings. And the links to all of the components mentioned will be down below in the video description. With that being said, let's start. For the CPU, we have the i5-12400F, which in my opinion is the best mid-range CPU that you can get right now, since it's going for $144, and the Ryzen 5 5600, which is its competitor, is a bit more expensive and it's going to give you the same gaming performance. Great CPU that we are going to pair with the RTX 4070 for the GPU, and the reason why I picked this one is because the level of performance is great at 1440p high to ultra settings and will allow you to play at 240 plus FPS on average on esports titles. In terms of performance, on a 15 game average at 1440p resolution, the RTX 4070 was able to average 102 FPS, which is a very high number considering on this test high demanding games were being tested, and remember these settings are ultra. So very high number for a 1440p GPU. Then if you are interested and you have a 1080p monitor right now, but you will upgrade to 1440p down the line, well, the 4070 got an average of 143 FPS at 1080p high to ultra settings. And if you want to play at 4K in the future, the 4070 was able to average 57 FPS at 4K resolution. But here, if you're going to play at 4K, I recommend you playing with upscaling on, which is DLSS on this case. And if you're new to PCs, don't worry, this is easy to do. You just have to go to the in-game settings of your favorite title, especially if it's high demanding, and you turn on the graphics setting where it says upscaler and you put it on the DLSS quality mode. Highly recommend you doing this if you're going to play at 4K high demanding titles. You can also consider the AMD RX 7800 XT for the GPU, which I will talk about in a second, but I will tell you why I wouldn't recommend you going for the AMD GPU by the time that I'm recording this video. Before doing that, I will show you the rest of the components, where you get an aftermarket CPU cooler in the Thermal Right Assassin X, which is going to be plenty of power for our i5-12400F. Then you get the ASRock B660M Pro RS Micro ATX motherboard. Great motherboard for just $95. It has all the features that you need for gaming. Then for the memory kit, you get 32 gigs of RAM, which is going to be awesome, not only for gaming, but also for tasks such as streaming, content creation, productivity work, and tasks in general that require more than 16 gigs of RAM. Then you get a 1TB NVMe SSD, which is fast, and trust me, you do not need anything faster than this for gaming. Then for the case, you get the Bitfinex Nova Mesh Micro ATX mini tower case. I love this case, and the reason why I love it is because it's only $58. It has a front mesh panel, great airflow, and it already comes with 3 pre-installed fans, so you don't have to buy more fans in order to get better airflow. And last but not least, we have the power supply in the MSI Mag A650BN. This is a 650 watt 80 plus bronze power supply that's C-tier rated, very good unit for this type of build. The total price for this system is $1,030, and as I said before, you will be able to achieve 240 plus FPS on average on esports shooters at 1080p and 1440p resolution with no issues. You are getting a very good PC overall, since the level of performance on just any title, even if it's high demanding, is going to be really smooth. And then, as I said before, you can consider the RX 7800 XT going for $510, which is cheaper than the RTX 4070, but then it's less power efficient and you have to change the power supply to the Be Quiet Pure Power 12 750 watt 80 plus gold power supply. So if you go with the 7800 XT, the total price for the system is going to be $1,025, which is actually about the same price as the 4070 system. And I will tell you why I recommend you going with the NVIDIA GPU, but first I want to tell you that even if you buy the RX 7800 XT, you will be able to achieve really high frame rates at 1440p ultra settings. In fact, it's a bit faster on average than the RTX 4070 in terms of rasterized performance. On that same 15 game average I've mentioned before, at 1440p, the 7800 XT was able to average 180 FPS, over 60 FPS at 4K resolution, and over 147 FPS at 1080p. So you can safely say that you can play in every resolution with this GPU as well, and it has more VRAM, which is helpful if you're going to play at 4K resolution. But here's the thing, at 1440p, 12 gigs of VRAM is going to be enough, and we haven't seen a game where 12 gigs graphics wasn't enough at 1440p at the moment. And not only that, but the NVIDIA GPUs work better with games like Fortnite, so if you want to achieve 240 plus FPS on average and you want an stable performance, the 4070 is a much better option. If you're going to play Fortnite, there's no debate, just get the 4070. But then the main reason why I would go with the 4070 is because the LSS. AMD also has an upscaler called FSR, but the image quality is just not there. It's not bad, but the NVIDIA upscaler looks better. So if you're going to play high demanding titles and you want to play with the LSS to achieve higher frame rates, NVIDIA is the better option, especially considering that both are within the same price. And the last point, which I mentioned before, is that it's more power efficient, so it's going to draw less power, which might be helpful if you want to save money on your electricity bill. That's why I would pick NVIDIA at the moment, but if you go with the 7800 XT, you will have an amazing performance regardless. And of course, if you put any of these PCs together, the components are going to be compatible with each other, so you don't have to worry about anything. You just buy these components and put them together. Also, if you have a different budget, let's say you have over $1,000 or maybe you have less than that, then I highly recommend you watching my video on the best PC builds for 2024. In that video, I talk about every budget, every resolution, and it's going to be very helpful if you're thinking of getting a system right now. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.